Hello, what is up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So we spent 1 month in Ukraine, Eastern Europe, so I really want to discuss with you guys today the cost of living in Ukraine. For the most part of our stay here in Ukraine, it's been really inexpensive. You can get a meal for about $3 to $4 US, great internet connection and really affordable transport to get around, and it's just an all-round great place for digital nomads to come to. Now, before we get into the cost of things, I did want to mention that we stayed in Kyiv and Odessa, which are really popular places to visit while you're in Ukraine, so this did bring the cost of things up a little bit for us. But all in all, the place was still super affordable. Usually if you stay away from the city, this will be more affordable for you, but we found it more convenient to stay in places that were very close to the city. And for the prices of things, I'm going to put everything in US dollars because it's a universal currency, and the prices will be listed as a couple. Anyway, so let's get into it. The categories that I will be discussing for you guys today are accommodation, eating out, groceries, SIM cards, transport, flights, ATM transactions. Okay, so first up, accommodation. Now this actually was the most expensive part of our stay, seeing as usually we stay for longer in a place and we didn't have that much time because of my visa in Ukraine. It meant that we had to use Airbnbs. So this did bring the price of things up a little bit, and our accommodation price come to a total of $738 US. And for this price, we got a whole apartment in each place that we stayed, and each of our apartments included a double bedroom, a kitchen, a washing machine, a private bathroom, Wi-Fi internet connection, and AC. So all of them had AC except for maybe one apartment. They were all very centrally located, close to all of the tourist attractions. Since we were booking on Airbnb, this meant that all of our water, power and internet was included in the cost. So if you would like to support this channel, please make sure to book your next Airbnb stay using my link, because I get a small discount off the Airbnbs as well. And I'd also like to say thank you to everyone who has used my Airbnb link so far. It really does make a great difference for us while we're traveling. Now, groceries for this month costed us a total of $172 US, and that was including alcohol as well. We did buy most of our food at the grocery stores, since we did notice that eating out in Europe was a little bit more expensive than eating out in Southeast Asia. This is not discounting how affordable it was to eat out here. It was just that we'd only just come from Southeast Asia, and we also just thoroughly enjoyed the grocery shopping here in Ukraine. Now, beer here is super affordable. You can get a 2.5 litre bottle of beer for $2 US. So when we first got to Ukraine, we sure did make the most of this, and the beers tasted so good too. Now, eating out, we spent a total of $130 US for the month, and I would say we only ate out about 20% of the time. There was one time when we first got here and we splurged a little bit, and we spent about $20 US for a meal for two at a riverside restaurant. And then there are other times where we spent about $10 US for a meal for two, and we would go to places like the supermarket, because actually their supermarkets in Ukraine are really awesome. Some of them have seats where you can sit down and order pizza or get really awesome foods from the deli. Another one of our favorites to eat out in Ukraine was a restaurant called Puzata Hata, where we could get a meal for two for about $9 to $10 US, and it was like a buffet style Ukrainian restaurant, so they really served all these traditional Ukrainian foods for a really decent price. Okay, so transport. Now, getting around Ukraine, we found it really easy. The public transport is meant to be really good in Ukraine, but we actually didn't get a chance to use it, which was a shame. But we did find that Uber rides were super affordable. The total price of our Ubers for the month was $97 US, and I would say this was a really good price, considering that we did use Uber about once to twice a day, or sometimes even 3 times. And we did do a lot of walking in Ukraine, so keep this in mind. Okay, so flights. Now, we did catch one domestic flight during our stay in Ukraine. We caught a flight from Kyiv to Odessa, so it was about a 1-hour flight, and it cost us a total of $65 for the both of us, including 20 kgs of luggage. So So as you can see, it was just really affordable to fly within Ukraine, and it was definitely more cost effective than catching the first class train. Okay, so phone plans and SIM cards. During our stay here in Ukraine, we used the phone company called Kyivstar, and to get one SIM card with no calling and unlimited data for the month, it cost us $6.90 USD, and that was even at the airport. So it was $13.80 US for the both of us. So I guess if you even wanted to buy these cheaper, you could buy them at a local mini mart or supermarket. Kyivstar was a really good phone company and the coverage was great. We even had really fast speeds for our 4G as well. So the download was about 26 megabytes per second and the upload was about 10 megabytes per second, which I think is really great for a mobile phone data. Okay, so ATM transaction fees. Now, most places here in Ukraine actually will accept your credit cards, especially in the bigger cities. So I got cash out here twice in Ukraine, getting about $200 US out each time, and that would cost me $5 US each time I got money out. Cost me a total of $10 US for the month. Now, do keep in mind that the bank that I'm with in New Zealand has an alliance with the bank in Ukraine, so they did take out the ATM fee, but that didn't take out the conversion rate, so that's what the $5 was for. So altogether, our total cost of living in Ukraine come to $1,225 US as a couple. Yeah, as you can see, it's just really affordable to travel in Ukraine. And I'm so happy that this was our first country we got to explore in Eastern Europe, because Ukraine is really underrated and it is a beautiful destination to come to, especially if you're on a travel budget like us. And as many of you may have noticed, I didn't put the cost of travel insurance or flights from our previous destination or visas, because that might be different for everyone, or you might not even need a visa like I did, so that's why I didn't put that price in there. I also keep a track of my cost of living on this app here called Trail Wallet. It's a really awesome app, so you should definitely download it if you don't already have it. Now, it does cost you to get the app. It costs only $5 US, but that is a one-off payment, so you don't have to pay again. It's not a monthly subscription like Netflix or anything, and you can even look at the layout of your expenses, how much you've spent for the month in a pie graph form, and it's just really awesome to keep a track, and it helps you to stay on that budget. I hope this gave you guys a little insight into how inexpensive Ukraine really is and just how affordable it can be to travel full time. If you are coming to this side of the world, I highly recommend you to visit Ukraine. It has changed drastically over the past 20 years and it's just really awesome to come and see that. The architecture, the people, the food, it's just a really beautiful country, and we will for sure be coming back here in the near future.